Do you think humor should be political? Jim Carrey has again taken the world by storm with his sharp satire. This time, he is not afraid to speak frankly about Donald Trump and the impact of the media on today's society. Is what he says true? Is Trump the mad dog that Jim Carrey implies? A manipulated society, Jim Carrey, who once made the world laugh with his absurd sense of humor and unique facial expressions, has now gone in a completely different direction. No longer just a comedian, Carrey is becoming one of the most outspoken celebrities about what he sees as dangerous issues in modern society. Instead of bringing laughter, he uses a sharp, sometimes bitter, satirical tone to criticize phenomena that he believes are holding society back. In many public appearances, Jim Carrey has not hesitated to express his views on Donald Trump and the entire U.S. political system, which he says has become more of a reality TV show than a serious policy discussion forum. He believes that American politics today is no longer focused on finding solutions to social problems, but has turned into a theater where politicians are willing to shock people for attention instead of truly serving the people. Carrey has expressed these views not only through words, but also through satirical art, with a series of paintings that are deeply critical of Trump and his administration. One of the biggest issues Carrey highlights is the dominance of heartless capitalism, a system where people are no longer valued as valuable individuals, but simply cogs in a giant industrial machine. He argues that America once had a golden age when economic growth went hand in hand with moral and human values. However, according to Carrey, greed now rules everything. Large corporations control every aspect of life, from food, education, and media to politics. As a result, people are caught in a spiral of endless consumption, where happiness is no longer measured by the meaning of life, but by the amount of wealth they own. Carrey also draws comparisons between the current situation and the tactics of the American right in history, from inciting anti-immigration sentiment, denying the truth, pursuing personal interests, and abusing power. He argues that while the old strategies are still effective, they have become more sophisticated and dangerous than ever. Instead of applying direct repression, manipulation now takes place through the media, where misinformation is widely disseminated, shaping the thinking of an entire generation. The media is one of Carrey's biggest concerns. He argues that television has gradually replaced traditional education in shaping public perception, but in a more dangerous way. News channels, instead of providing objective information, tend to politicize every issue, turning the truth into a commodity that can be distorted to suit the interests of each group. Carrey is particularly critical of television networks that exploit public fears to attract viewers, creating a climate of chaos and division in society. We live in a time when lying is not only acceptable, but also celebrated. Carrey once said, "A new generation is growing up, believing that hatred is okay, that it is okay to discriminate against a group of people, and above all, that voting is not a right to improve society, but something that defines your identity." In Carrey's view, this division is not accidental, but a deliberate strategy. As people are drawn into media-driven debates, important issues like education, healthcare, climate change, and economic inequality are pushed to the back burner. They want you to hate each other so you don't realize who is running the game, Carrey warned. However, Carrey does not stop at criticism, but also calls for action. He encourages people to ask more questions, not passively accept information, and most importantly, use their voices to demand change. We cannot continue to live like sheep in a system where everything is predetermined. Ask questions, speak up, and remember that you have the right to choose your path. Jim Carrey's strong opinions have created heated debates in public opinion. Some people support him, saying that Hollywood needs more voices like this to wake up the public. They see him as a responsible artist who uses his fame to promote positive change. However, many critics think that Carrey is just a comedian trying to play the role of a political thinker, and that he is using his fame to attract attention and cause controversy. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that Carrey has emerged from the shadow of a comedian, become one of the most influential figures in today's political and social discourse. His satirical art, while controversial, continues to be a part of the public conversation about America's future. Perhaps as long as society continues to have the issues that Carrey finds alarming, he will continue to draw, speak out, and challenge the status quo. Jim Carrey is uncompromising. It's no surprise that Jim Carrey decided to aim at Donald Trump, a figure who has become all too familiar with criticism and controversy. Trump is not only a controversial former president, but also a cultural icon whose actions, statements, and policies have always attracted special attention from the public and the media. However, in this speech, Carrey was not simply a comedian delivering sharp satire. He turned his entire presentation into a true comedy lecture, in which Trump was placed at the center as a prime example of the political chaos in the US in recent years. Carrey opened with a sarcastic comparison, comparing Trump's presidency to a failed reality TV show where the script keeps changing, staff is fired every month, and the American people wonder whether they are witnessing a political drama, a satirical comedy, or a national tragedy. He insisted that Trump had run the government like a B-list TV star, trying to control a script he didn't understand. The rapid turnover in Trump's cabinet was captured in a wry joke by Carrey. A White House staffer can walk into a briefing room as the Secretary of State and walk out as the coffee guy. One of the funniest moments of the speech came when Carrey brought up Trump's use of a Sharpie to edit a hurricane map, confirming a false forecast. You know, the country is in trouble when one of the most contentious political debates is whether to trust a map drawn by a meteorologist or a map drawn by a man with a habit of self-aggrandizement. He quipped, "That's not science. That's an elementary school art class where the kid who drew it doesn't want to turn it in." Carrey didn't stop there, but he also recalled some of the most memorable moments of Trump's presidency, from his controversial medical advice about injecting disinfectants into the body to kill the virus, to his suggestion of using UV light inside the body to treat COVID-19. If a real scientist proposed these ideas, they would be kicked out of every international medical conference, he stressed. But in Trump's case, he has become a medical expert that millions of people are willing to believe. Carrey likened the situation to a bad medical comedy, where the main doctor is a character with no medical expertise but still offers fantastic treatments. However, what Carrey emphasized was not just Trump's actions, but also the American public's reaction to those events. Despite his controversial decisions, scandals, and unorthodox statements, millions of Americans have been captivated by his presidency. Carrey compares it to a television show that viewers recognize is becoming increasingly absurd, but they continue to watch, unable to leave, because they are curious to see what happens next. One point Carrey particularly highlights is Trump's presence on the social media platform Truth Social, where he posts so frequently that it seems like the only way he can maintain his influence and control over reality. Trump uses Truth Social like an old man who got banned from Facebook for arguing about Garfield memes. Carrey quips, he posts angrily at 3 a.m. Then an hour later complains about being mistreated. But what's most troubling, according to Carrey, isn't Trump's actions, but how his loyal supporters react to them. No matter what Trump says, no matter how absurd, they believe it completely, even considering any criticism as part of a grand conspiracy to overthrow him. Carrey warns, we live in an age where truth no longer matters. and politics has become a game of blind faith. There is no evidence, no reason. If you believe something strongly enough, in your eyes, it becomes the truth. Although Carrey's speech is full of satirical humor, it also reflects a deeper reality about politics and media in America. Political polarization is on the rise, and public trust in leaders has become a concern. Through his humorous yet sharp perspective, Carrey not only brings laughter, but also raises important questions about how today's society perceives and responds to political developments. Reality TV White House Edition. Jim Carrey is one of Hollywood's most influential comedians, known not only for his on-screen versatility, but also for his keen use of laughter as a tool for social critique. He is not just an entertainer, but also a keen observer, often using his art to reflect on social and political realities. And during Donald Trump's presidency, Carrey has found a strong source of inspiration to express his views through drawings, comedy, and public speeches. Carrey does more than just simple jokes or light-hearted satirical skits. He turns his performance into a profound art form, where every line and every drawing carries a powerful message. For Carrey, the Trump administration is a never-ending reality TV show where chaos, controversy, and unexpected decisions have become an inevitable part of American political life. One of the ways Carrey expresses his views is through his caricatures. His paintings depict Trump not just as a politician, but as a symbol of the times, a controversial and entertaining figure who captures the public's attention in a contradictory way. Carrey has painted Trump as a leader who has lost his way, immersed in the chaos of his administration. For him, Trump's policies and actions are not simply political decisions, but dramatic performances, where fact and fiction sometimes become difficult to distinguish. Carrey focuses in particular on the instability within the Trump administration, where officials are constantly being fired or resigning, creating a picture of a White House in turmoil. He likens the Trump White House to a startup that is about to go bankrupt, where personnel are constantly changing and decisions are made based on unpredictable motives. Carrey also addresses how the American public reacts to Trump-era politics. He finds that, despite the growing chaos, many people are still caught up in the never-ending debate. Although Trump's decisions and statements sometimes defy common sense, he still retains a large number of loyal supporters who are willing to defend him regardless of any controversy. Carrey likens the situation to a reality TV show that viewers cannot stop watching, no matter how absurd its content becomes. Melania Trump, the First Lady, has also become one of Carrey's favorite characters in his work. He once mocked the controversial moment when she wore a jacket that read, "I won't care, do you?" during a visit to a migrant child detention center. For Carrey, this was not only an insensitive act, but also reflected the distance between the Trump administration and pressing social issues. He quipped that if Melania could hold up a sign, it would probably say, "Help, I don't want to be here," a way of suggesting that she might not fully agree with the role she is playing. In addition to using art, Carrey has also spoken out many times in interviews and public events. He has compared American politics under Trump to the famous movie The Truman Show, in which he starred. In the movie, Truman lives in a fake world where everything is set up to control his perception. Carrey noted that the reality of American politics seems to be going in the opposite direction. Instead of waking up to the manipulation, the public is increasingly immersed in a whirlpool of chaotic information and endless controversy. Looking back on Trump's tenure, Carrey is not simply expressing his position, but also reflecting a broader trend in American political culture. Not only does he portray Trump as a controversial figure, but he also raises questions about how society perceives and responds to political developments. Using art and comedy, Carrey creates a space for the public to reflect on the times in which they live. Carrey places particular emphasis on the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021. Before that, he painted a picture depicting Trump as a vagrant in the White House, a prophetic image of the political collapse he saw coming. This event further solidifies Carrey's view that Trump's tenure is not just a normal political period, but a dramatic cultural phenomenon. Throughout his career, Jim Carrey has repeatedly used art as a means to express his personal views on the world. In Trump, he sees not only a controversial politician, but also a symbol of an era where truth and fiction are increasingly blurred. The most poignant thing to ponder is not what Trump has done, but how the public continues to watch, debate, and be drawn into a political show that shows no signs of ending. Satirical painting. And, Jim Carrey is not only known as a comedian with energetic and uniquely expressive roles, but he is also a painter with a bold painting style, sometimes surreal, sometimes a combination of caricature and political satire. His paintings, especially during the period when Donald Trump was President of the United States, have become a widely controversial topic, attracting attention not only from the art world, but also from the public and political commentators. Carrey does not pursue a traditional school of art, but combines many elements to create a unique style. His works often use bright colors, strong lines, and distorted images, sometimes creating a sense of chaos. This makes Carrey's paintings have a special appeal, both surreal like Salvador Dali and political satirical elements similar to famous satirists. One of the most striking features of Carrey's work is the way he depicts Trump in bizarre, distorted forms. In some works, Trump appears as a burnt piece of toast, a metaphor for failure or decline. In other works, he is depicted as a monstrous creature trapped in a hallucinatory nightmare. These paintings are not only critical, but also highly symbolic, turning Trump into a character straight out of a political horror film. At times, he looks like Freddy Krueger in a blue suit or a puppet with dead eyes. These images not only reflect Carrey's personal views, but also an artistic perspective on the chaos in American politics at that time. Jim Carrey's works immediately caused a wave of strong reactions from many sides. Some people, especially Trump opponents, see this as a form of creative protest, using art to express political views instead of traditional methods such as speeches or writing. They believe that Carrey's paintings reflect the true nature of the Trump administration: chaotic, controversial, and full of confusing decisions. However, Trump supporters, especially the MAGA Make America Great Again group, have had an opposite reaction. They see these works as an insult, even an un-American act. Some critics say that Carrey has taken advantage of his fame to attack Trump too much, turning art into a political tool instead of keeping it as a pure form of creativity. Some people even liken Carrey's paintings to a vicious attack rather than true art. Despite the controversy, Jim Carrey continues to pursue his artistic path without being bothered by criticism. He has even become more aggressive in expressing his views. For Carrey, painting is not just a personal hobby, but also a means to fight for what he believes in. He sees his art as a warning about political extremism and the loss of reason in an increasingly chaotic world. Some of Carrey's notable paintings of Trump also incorporate images and pop culture symbols. In some works, Trump is depicted as a melting pumpkin, an image that can suggest decay or meaninglessness. In another, he appears as a rigid puppet with sunken eyes, evoking the image of a leader controlled by other forces. Some works even satirize Trump's eating habits, depicting him fused with a bucket of KFC fried chicken, a parody of rumors about the former president's unhealthy eating habits. The popularity of these paintings has not been limited to the art world, but has also spread widely on social media, appeared on television shows, and become the subject of debate on many online platforms. Love them or hate them, Carrey's paintings are impossible to ignore. They have raised a big question about the boundary between art and politics. When does art become propaganda? And should art be completely neutral? The Steadfast Sarcasm. His criticism of former President Donald Trump has not only been on the pages, but has also been strongly expressed on late-night television shows. Here, Carrey is not simply an actor performing an entertaining role, but he uses his influence to express his political views frankly and does not shy away from sensitive topics. On shows like The Late Show with Stephen Colbert or Real Time with Bill Maher, Jim Carrey often has sharp appearances. He not only mocks Trump with humorous lines, but also exposes what he considers unreasonable in the former president's policies and actions. It is worth noting that Carrey does not need a script or excessive preparation. Everything he expresses comes from his own emotions. Carrey described Trump as a villain in a bad cartoon, with exaggerated features such as pursed lips, small hands waving constantly, and incoherent sentences. He also mentioned Trump's controversial statements about wind energy and environmental issues, saying that they showed ignorance and illogicality. Jim Carrey does not only use words, but also the art of painting as a sharp weapon. He has shared his caricatures on social networks many times, in which Trump is often portrayed in a strong, satirical image. One of Carrey's most prominent works is a painting of Trump as a melting clown, with a Make America Great Again MAGA hat sliding off his head like a deflated balloon. Carrey's paintings are not only artistic, but also have a strong influence. They were shared by many news sites and social media users, becoming part of the public discussion about American politics. Carrey has stated that he does not draw just for entertainment, but to send a message, to reflect the current state of society, and to fight for the values he believes in. In addition to his direct criticism of Trump, Carrey has also spoken out on other political issues, including the controversy surrounding Obamagate, a term used by Trump to accuse the Obama administration of illegally spying on his campaign. Trump has claimed that this is one of the biggest political scandals in American history, but has not provided specific evidence. In a speech, he stated, "You know what the crime is. It's very clear." However, many experts and journalists believe that Obamagate is just a political ploy to distract the public. While Trump has repeatedly emphasized this scandal, Carrey has shown a different perspective. He believes that this is a typical example of how Trump uses misinformation to manipulate the public. On television, Carrey once said, "We live in a world where the truth is distorted and lies are accepted as the norm." Soon after Jim Carrey released his painting, Trump the Melting Clown, it quickly became a social media sensation. Millions of people shared the piece, and major media outlets reported on it. This isn't the first time Carrey's art has made a big impact, but this time, it seems to have a stronger impact than ever. Carrey has used his fame not only to entertain, but also to promote political and social dialogue. Despite mixed opinions on his satirical style, there's no denying that he has become one of the most vocal artists on current affairs. But perhaps what the audience is deeply interested in right now is how Trump will react. And as always, Trump's rebuttal. Donald Trump, as usual, did not respond immediately, but the anger was palpable. Trump has never been one to stay silent for long in the face of attacks, especially from someone as influential as Jim Carrey. It was almost predictable that an angry Truth Social tweet or a sarcastic interview with Carrey would follow. Trump would probably call Carrey a failed actor, a loser, or even a clown desperate for attention. It has happened to other celebrities before, and there is no reason why it won't happen again. Jim Carrey, however, seemed unfazed by Trump's response. If there is one thing that is predictable about Carrey, it is that he will not sit still. When Trump attacks, Carrey will likely do what he always does: respond with another drawing. sharper, more satirical, and more biting. This is not just a personal confrontation. This is an event that reflects part of the political and social reality of America, where art, politics, and media are intertwined, creating a constant flow of debate and confrontation. Carrey is not simply a comedian or an improvisational artist. He uses his talent and fame to capture a historical moment in his way. He doesn't just want people to laugh, he wants them to think, question, and remember what's going on. His works, while highly satirical, are not just harmless satire. They have a message, a point, and an impact. That's what makes Carrey's art so powerful. Love it or hate it, there's no denying that these works have touched millions of people. While Carrey uses art to express his views, Trump continues to operate as he always has, a central figure in the American political scene who never misses any opportunity to attract attention. Trump has always known how to dominate the media, how to turn every debate into a script he wrote himself. And with this confrontation, he doesn't need to do much, just show up, just a status line, a response, and immediately all eyes will be on him. The confrontation between Jim Carrey's brush and Donald Trump's ego is no different from a political reality show. But unlike the movie The Truman Show, where the main character has no idea that he is being watched, Trump is fully aware that all eyes are on him. And more than that, he takes advantage of it. Each controversy becomes a sensational episode. Each social media outburst is a deliberate drama. Each of his official statements is nothing more than a film clip that shapes national policy. And the public, whether they like it or not, is drawn into the vortex of this never-ending debate. Jim Carrey is well aware of the chaos. He knows that mockery is one of the only ways to deal with it. While Trump continues to create spirals of controversy, Carrey continues to draw, adding new layers of satire to his growing collection. His work extends beyond Trump to a wide range of American issues, from immigration policy to climate change to social polarization. For Carrey, this is not just art or comedy, it is a way to reflect on a tumultuous period in history. The rivalry between Jim Carrey and Donald Trump may not end anytime soon, at least not until one of them stops attracting public attention. But one thing is certain, as long as Trump remains in the media spotlight, Carrey's brush will continue to paint. And as long as Carrey continues to paint, the public will continue to watch, continue to debate, continue to ponder what is going on around them. Speaking of which, let's take a look at Trump. From businessman to President of the United States. When Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, he was born into an affluent family in the borough of Queens, New York. In New York, his father, Fred Trump, was a successful real estate developer who constructed homes in neighborhoods that were considered to be middle class. Mary Ann MacLeod Trump, his mother, was a Scottish immigrant who had moved to the United States. From a young age, Donald Trump had a mentality that was not just powerful and outspoken, but also highly obstinate. At the age of 13, his parents decided to send him to the New York Military Academy, NYMA, to receive disciplinary training. This decision was made due to his tendency to be mischievous and rebellious. In addition to gaining self-control and leadership skills, Trump acquired a deep love for sports, particularly baseball, during his time at this institution. Following his graduation from the New York Military Academy, Donald Trump went on to study at Fordham University for 2 years. Subsequently, he transferred to the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania, where he received a bachelor's degree in economics in 1968. Trump was fortunate enough to secure a deferment from the conscription owing to health concerns connected to bone spurs in his foot, in contrast to the many young Americans who were recruited to fight in the Vietnam War. Following the completion of his education, Trump started working for the Trump Organization, which is his father's real estate business. Initially, he concentrated on refurbishing and constructing apartment buildings that were owned by his father. Nevertheless, Trump's goals were far more expansive than that scope of work. It was in the 1970s when he decided to extend his company into the Manhattan area, where he saw the potential for high-end projects. One of Trump's earliest achievements was the Grand Hyatt New York, which he refurbished from the old Commodore Hotel and turned into one of the most prestigious hotels in the city. During the 1980s and 1990s, the Trump Organization experienced a period of prosperity which resulted in the construction of several structures bearing the Trump name. These projects included Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, and the Trump Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic City. Moreover, he expanded his business into the media, golf courses, and casinos. On the other hand, Trump did not always achieve his goals. Due to the substantial amount of debt he accumulated throughout the 1990s, he filed for bankruptcy on many occasions. Nonetheless, he was always able to recover and proceed with the expansion of his business empire. His participation in the reality television show The Apprentice, which began airing in 2004, was one of the most significant turning moments in his professional life. Because of the program, he became a well-known character in American popular culture, and his catchphrase, "You're fired," became a phrase that was instantly recognizable. Trump has strengthened his reputation as a skilled businessman and a powerful personal brand as a result of this achievement. Donald Trump did not unveil his campaign for president with the slogan, "Make America Great Again," until the year 2015, even though he had been expressing his political ideas for a considerable amount of time. When he originally declared his decision to run for president, many people thought that Trump was a candidate who had little chance of winning. However, he immediately gained attention due to his simple campaign approach, which did not shy away from confronting senior politicians. During his campaign, Donald Trump focused on addressing pressing concerns like immigration, the economy, and foreign policy. He committed to constructing a wall along the border between the United States and Mexico to stop illegal immigration, lower taxes on corporations, attract American businesses back to the nation, and take a severe stance on trade with China. To secure the candidacy of the Republican Party, Donald Trump prevailed over several formidable competitors, including Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, and Jeb Bush, throughout the primary electoral process. His adversary in the general election of 2016 was Hillary Clinton, a former Secretary of State of the United States of America, who is considered to be the face of conventional politics. Trump secured a remarkable triumph on November 8, 2016, defeating Clinton by 304 electoral votes to 227, but losing the popular vote. This victory came even though Trump was subjected to harsh criticism from the media and was involved in several controversies. The world was taken aback by this outcome, since Trump became the first person to be elected president without having ever served in any political or military capacity. From being a rough child in New York to becoming an ambitious real estate mogul to becoming a politician who has shaken up America, Donald Trump has embarked on a path that is full of colorful experiences. Even though there has been a lot of controversy around Trump, it is indisputable that he has altered the political scene in the United States by bringing a whole different style of leadership. With such a profound impact on American politics and economy, Donald Trump's legacy will be debated for many years to come. What do you think about this character? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you, and see you in the next videos.